1995, a high school basketball team vanished after a killer game, leaving a Virginia town haunted. 20 years later, a rusted van buried deep in the woods cracks open a chilling mystery, notebooks, tapes, and a predator's twisted grin. Was it a crash or a hunt? Stick around for the jaw-dropping twists. This story's fiction, crafted from real-life cases for education and thrills. Like, subscribe, comment your thoughts, and share this video to keep the channel buzzing. Don't miss the truth lurking in the shadows. Hit that bell and stay locked in. The fog clung to the pines like a bad dream that morning in October 2015. Sophia Klein trudged through Pine Hollow Preserve in Virginia, 70 miles northeast of Louisa County, with her backpack slung low and her thermos of black coffee still steaming. She was out here to clear her head after quitting that damn EMT gig, the one that left her nights haunted by sirens and blood. No people, no questions, just the crunch of leaves under her boots and the earthy smell of damp dirt. Her dog Milo, a scruffy mutt with too much energy, bolted ahead, sniffing at everything, like he owned the forest. Then he froze, ears perked, tail stiff. Sophia called out, "Milo, come on, boy," but he darted downhill through the brush about 30 feet off the trail. She cursed under her breath, shoving branches aside, her heart starting to pound. "What the hell, boy," she muttered. There, under a thick blanket of moss and fallen leaves, something gleamed. A sliver of rusted metal. She knelt down, brushing away the debris, her fingers trembling. It was a bumper. Not just any bumper, but from an old van. Navy blue paint, chipped and faded, buried nose first into the slope like it had been slammed there on purpose. Sophia's breath caught in her throat. "This ain't no junk car," she whispered to herself. The ground sloped weird here, the moss growing over a unnatural hump. She peeled back more layers, her nails caking with mud, until the corner of the vehicle emerged. A Ford Club wagon, rusted to hell, doors jammed shut, windows cracked like spider webs. Inside, through the grimy glass, she glimpsed shapes, twisted shadows that made her stomach twist. Holy shit, she backed away, fumbling for her phone. Signal was spotty, but she got through to 911. "Officer, I found a buried van in the woods," she said, voice shaking. "Looks like it's been here forever. Send someone quick, before some freak shows up." By noon, the quiet woods turned into a circus. Police cruisers parked haphazardly, yellow tape strung between trees, drones buzzing overhead like angry bees. Floodlights pierced the gloom as crews dug around the wreckage. Sophia stood off to the side, hugging Milo, watching them pry open the doors with crowbars. The creak of metal echoed, chilling through the trees. Inside, 3 skeletons huddled in eerie positions, bones picked clean by time and critters. One in the driver's seat, curled over the wheel. Another in the middle row, limbs folded tight. The smallest in the back still clutching fragments of a jersey. "Knights," it read in faded letters. Near the footwell, a medallion glinted. "Coach. Detective Svarmed," murmuring low. Forensics snapped photos, the flash heart pounding in the dim light. Sophia handed over her SD card with the pics. She took wide shots, tire impressions, even a close-up of a rusted high-top shoe, wedged under the chassis. "This van rolled off road, one cop said, but not by accident. Too deep in the woods, no tire marks leading here. Like it was driven, deliberate or forced." Sophia felt a chill crawl up her spine. "Who buries a van like this?" she asked a nearby officer. He shook his head, jaw tight. "Ma'am, this matches that old missing team case from '95. High school basketball kids and their coach vanished after a game. Never found till now." But as they hauled the remains to the coroner's van, Sophia overheard the real kicker. Only 3 bodies in there. Where the hell are the other 2 kids? The question hung in the air like smoke, twisting her gut. The forest seemed to whisper back secrets, lurking in the shadows ready to unravel decades of silence. The news hit Louisa County like a damn freight train ripping through the quiet. That buried van in the woods yanked everyone back to 1995, the night everything went to hell. Back then, the gym at Jefferson High was electric, buzzing with sweat-soaked jerseys and stomping feet. The Knights had just clinched a nail-biter in the regional playoffs, edging out Charlottesville by 2 points in the dying seconds. Crowd went wild, horns blasting, pom-poms shaking like crazy. The air thick with that teenage cockiness music, cranked louder, futures seeming brighter than the flickering scoreboard lights. Coach Harlan Brooks, a grizzled vet with 20 years under his belt, clapped his boys on the back, not smiling much, but tonight he cracked a small one. These kids had grit, heart, maybe even a shot at state for a couple, like Alex Rivera, the sharpshooter, with college scouts sniffing around. Harlan grabbed the wheel of the school's beat-up Navy Ford club wagon, not trusting anyone else, with his team. Tyler Hayes, the quiet forward, rode shotgun, legs crammed in tight. In the back, Jordan Mills Darnell, to his buddies, the loudmouth, with a shady shoplifting rap, traded jabs, with Kyle Dawson, the goofy dancer, and Lucas Grant, the one with that lazy grin, still munching gas station fries. By 10 past 10, the parking lot was thinning out, lights humming in hazy halos. Elena Rivera stood at the edge, arms folded under her windbreaker. She never missed a game, not since Alex hit 8th grade. She shot him a 2-finger wave as the van rolled by, and he grinned back, all teeth and youth. Didn't know it'd be the last glimpse of her boy's face alive. The van headed east on Highway 33, a routine 90-minute haul back to their speck of a town in Louisa County. They'd done it dozens of times, but this night the storm slammed in around 2, rain pounding like needles, trees swaying drunk, visibility shot to nothing. Midnight hit and worry crept in. Kyle's mom dialed Harlan's landline, no answer. Lucas's girl Nina griped, he never called like promised. By 12:47, Elena hit the cops, her voice cracking. Officers flooded the highway with spotlights scanning for wreckage. No skid marks, no busted guardrails. The van had straight up vanished like smoke in the wind. Morning brought headlines, small at first: high school hoops team ghosts after big win. Television crews, helicopters, dogs, volunteers, combing the underbrush, shoulder to shoulder. Sish. Not a scrap of metal, not a footprint. Days dragged, rumors festered. Folks whispered about Harlan, why no call? Pointed at Jordan, that old theft beef, maybe the boys bolted. Anonymous tips claimed, sightings at diner's truck, stops all dead ends. Amont later coverage fizzled. Elena showed up at the sheriff's every Friday, questions in hand, but by fall the state slapped, presumed dead on the file. She refused a funeral, snarling, I can't bury a ghost. The town pretended to move on. New coach, new banners, dust gathering on the 1995 team photo in the trophy case. But Elena kept Alex's room, frozen posters, homework socks and all. Wrote him letters. Lit candles, hoped like hell. Hired a PI with her tax refund in 2004, but he bailed, too cold, too gone. Still she clung, because without a body, without answers, how could 5 lives and a dream just evaporate? Then that hiker Sophia stirred it all up again, the past clawing back, vicious and unrelenting. Whispers started in the diner, old timers muttering about that creepy bearded guy lurking at the gym before the game. Tyler had whispered to Jordan, yo, that weirdo from summer camps back, said I owed him something. Jordan shrugged it off, but his eyes darted, nervous. No one knew then. It was Victor Hale stalking from the shadows, his twisted plan uncoiling like a snake in the grass. Elena stared at the television, replaying the news, her hands clenched. My boy's out there, she breathed, dread mixing with that cruel spark of hope. She grabbed the phone, dialing the cops again, voice steel hard. Find him before it's too damn late. The line crackled, but the storm in her gut raged on, unanswered questions, lurking ready to explode. Back in 2015, the discovery ripped open old wounds, and Detective Caleb Hayes felt it deep in his bones. At 33, he was knee-deep in cold cases across the region, but this one hit personal. His older cousin had been a Jefferson High alum, and Caleb remembered being 13 watching those games on fuzzy local television. Everyone buzzed about Alex Rivera, the kid with the killer jump shot, headed for bigger things. The night they vanished, his mom had whispered not again, her voice laced with dread from some unspoken family ghost. Now Caleb stared at the site in Pine Hollow, yellow tape flapping in the wind, drones humming like pissed-off hornets, tents popping up everywhere. Crews swarmed the wreckage, forensics in white suits, snapping pics under floodlights that cast long, eerie shadows. The van was a mangled mess, roof caved in, doors pried open, revealing the horror inside. 3 sets of remains twisted in unnatural poses, seatbelts sliced, clean through windshield, cracked outward, like something burst from inside. Claw marks gouged the interior doors, deep frantic scratches that screamed desperation. Caleb crossed his arms, jaw clenched tight. "This ain't no accident, man," he muttered to his partner, a burly vet named Ruiz. "Someone freaking hunted them down, drove them off-road, buried the damn thing to rot. Forensics ID'd the bones, quick." Driver was Coach Harlan Brooks' medallion, confirming it. Middle seat, Tyler Hayes, the quiet one, limbs folded, like he tried to shield himself. Back row, Kyle Dawson, smallest frame jersey scraps clinging to his ribs. His mom collapsed when they told her had to be sedated, her wails echoing through the station. But the real gut punch, only 3 bodies. Alex and Jordan still missing. Caleb paced the site, mind racing. Why just these 3, he growled. And that racial crap back then, town, full of whispers about minority kids, like it made him less worth searching for. Overlooked tips, buried reports, hell, even the initial sweep skimped on the woods. 'Cause who cares about a few black and brown boys, right? Then the sweep turned up gold, 50 yards downhill, a trail of rusted soda cans, cracked cassette tape, and under a mossy rock, a notebook sealed in plastic and duct tape. Caleb flipped it open in a quiet tent, the ink faded but legible. Alex's handwriting, strong capitals, slanted lowers. First entry, October 27th, 1995. Don't know where we are. Coach hurt bad. Jordan yelling non-stop. Tied up eating. Van flipped or pushed. Doors won't budge. Hear footsteps at night, not animals. Entries got wilder. November 3rd. Bearded man, watching through trees, stood too still. December 2nd. Kyle gone. Just stopped moving. Buried him with rocks. Caleb's stomach twisted, reading how they survived. Weeks, maybe months. Starving, scared, fighting. He drove to Elena's house that evening, the notebook in an evidence bag. She read it in her living room, tears streaming, hands shaking. "My boy fought like hell," she whispered, thumbing the pages. "He didn't stop. Tell me he's still out there, detective." Caleb nodded, throat tight. Proof he lived after the crash. But 2 missing means something twisted happened. Relief, dread, hope's ugly twin swirled in her eyes. 2 days later, the team swept again, deeper brush, yielding a sealed tin coffee can. Inside, 5 blurry Polaroids. One, a thin, dark-skinned teen by a fire fishing pole in hand. Another, a heavy bearded man in his 50s, holding a dead rabbit by the ears, grinning at the camera. In the background, a boy back turned, heading into trees. Caleb's blood ran cold. "Who's this bastard?" he snarled, slamming the photo down. Facial rec hit Victor Hale, former wilderness instructor, fired in 1988 for inappropriate conduct with boys. Questioned in 2 disappearances, Virginia and Tennessee, but charges dropped. Moved west, died in Alaska cabin fire, 2002. But timelines didn't add up. Caleb traced leads, heart pounding. This creep was at the game photo in the local paper, shows him in the bleachers watching, stalking them long before the crash. The hunt was on, shadows closing in, but the woods held more secrets clawing to surface. The Polaroids burned into Caleb's mind, that grinning bastard Victor Hale, holding up a bloody rabbit like a trophy, while a shadowy boy slipped into the trees. It fueled the fire, pushing the investigation deeper into the tangled mess of Pine Hollow. Caleb rebuilt the search radius, starting 50 yards downhill from the van, rusted soda cans littering the path like breadcrumbs from hell, a cracked cassette tape wedged under brush. Back at the station, he popped it into an old player, the sound faint, crackling static, then a young voice, unsteady, whispering, "My name is Alex Rivera. I was taken after the crash. He watches us at night. We can't run." Coach tried, and the tape cut to nothing but hiss. Caleb's heart hammered like a jackhammer. He replayed it, voice chilling in the dim room. "Your kid survived months," he told Elena over the phone. "Damn tough, just like you." She breathed heavy on the line. "Bring it here, detective. I need to hear him." They met at her place, the tape spinning in her living room, Elena's face paling as Alex's words filled the air. "He fought," she murmured, tears welling. "But who's this?" He watching them like prey. Diving into records, Caleb unearthed a hiker tip from 1996, dismissed back then. A guy reported spotting a bearded creep hauling firewood with a teenage boy near an unmarked cabin. Matched Victor's MO, questioned in Tennessee, vanishings but slimy enough to slip charges. That freak stalked boys for years. Caleb growled to Ruiz, piecing the puzzle. Fired for messing with kids at summer camp in '88, then ghosts until Alaska. Sophia Klein couldn't shake the woods either, her own ghosts tugging her back. Lost her brother to a similar mess years ago. Now she hiked with Milo, again sticking close, but the dog bolted, sniffing wild. He froze at a fire pit ring of blackened stones, ash piled high. Sophia dug, spotting a dented shoebox sealed with cracked duct tape. Inside, stiff clothes, a corroded Walkman, and a Ziploc-wrapped notebook, thinner, water-stained. She didn't peek, just hauled it to the rangers, who rushed it to Caleb. The pages were Alex's hand entries from June to August 1997. "Still alive. Moved us to his camp. Said too many getting close. Jordan fought, got smacked, but okay. Won't talk much. Victor calls me difficult, says Jordan's obedient. I don't buy it." Final one, August 18th. "Taking Jordan elsewhere. Splitting us. Don't trust him. Tell my mom I didn't stop fighting." Caleb read it alone. Office, shadows, lengthening, gut twisting. Then Randy Ellis, a shaky 71-year-old, retired janitor, shuffled in hands, trembling with an old photo. "Saw that man in the news," he rasped. "Victor arguing with one of the boys in the school lot day before they left. Kid yelled, 'You're not supposed to be here, creep.' Victor snarled, 'You promised me.' Which kid?" Caleb leaned in, eyes narrow. "Think it was Jordan, the loud one." Nina Lopez, ex of Lucas, came forward too, working daycare now, but memory sharp. He called from a payphone that night, scared shitless. Said if anything happens, look into that Jim guy, talking to Jordan. Line cut dead. Caleb drove back, silence, heavy. This wasn't a crash. A trap set weeks prior. Victor, lurking, whispering deals. The team pressed deeper, finding a root cellar mile out, camouflaged under brambles, boards nailed shut. Inside, cans, gear, and on the concrete wall, names carved sharp. Jim No, Alex Tyler, Jordan Kyle, Coach Harlan, each deliberate like a scream in stone. No bones, no blood, just echoes. Caleb stood, flashlight beam dancing. He kept them here alive, but why split 'em? He whispered, dread, coiling. Footsteps echoed. Outside, faint, like whispers, not wind, or beasts, something unnatural, lurking, FBI swooped in doubting Victor's fiery end in Alaska. No remains, just assumptions. Case exploding. Shadows bleeding into light. But the real horror loomed. Was Victor truly gone, or watching still from the dark? The root cellar's carved names haunted Caleb, like ghosts, scratching at his skull, pushing the team deeper into the choking underbrush of Pine Hollow. They hit an old ranger station, long thought collapsed, but standing, sagging, under heavy brambles, roof-bowed windows, shattered, like punched-out eyes. Inside, broken furniture, burned logs, mildew thick in the air, and nailed over a vent, strips of blanket, stiff with age. On the far wall, a child's drawing curled in yellowed 5 stick figures, clutching a basketball, one crossed out with a vicious X. Caleb's flashlight beam trembled. "This is where he kept M," he hissed to the crew, heart pounding. Alive, scared, drawing their last hopes. Twist hit like a gut punch. Forensics on the Alaska. Fire came back. 80 and scraps didn't match Victor fully. "That bastard might still be breathing," Caleb snarled, slamming the report down. Could have faked the blaze, slipped away. Then his phone buzzed. Anonymous caller. No ID. Voice distorted low. "They're still fighting," it rasped, then cut to dead air. Caleb froze, chills racing up his spine. "Who the hell is this?" he yelled into the void, but the line stayed silent, secrets mocking him. He tracked Sophia down at her place. The hiker, nursing, coffee eyes, shadowed from her own loss. Brother snatched years back, in a similar nightmare. "This freak's playing games," Caleb said, pacing. "Think Alex escaped, left clues to screw with Victor." Sophia nodded, gripping her mug tight. "My bro fought too, but they never found him. If Alex got out, he's a damn legend, but that call, who's watching us now?" Their words hung heavy dread, coiling like smoke. Elena, meanwhile, sat on her porch, Jim no Alex's photo in her lap, when the mail dropped, a plain envelope, no stamp. Inside, a note scrawled in shaky hand. "Mom didn't stop fighting. He's coming back." Her breath hitched. It was Alex's writing, loops and slants exact. She bolted to the station, shoving it at Caleb. "My boy's alive," she cried, voice breaking. "But who's coming, Victor or something worse?" The team raided a suspected cabin, mile out, traps snapped like jaws, rusted axe hidden under rocks but empty, just dust and echoes. Digging Victor's past revealed the sick twist. He targeted minority kids for protection, his warped mind calling it saving him from the world, stalking since playoffs, whispering deals at camps. Promised Tyler silence for favors, Jordan too loud to keep. Caleb stormed the home of Victor's surviving nephew, a squirrely guy in his 40s sweating under the porch light. "Your uncle's alive, ain't he?" Caleb barked, grabbing his collar. "Spill before I drag your ass in for aiding a monster." The nephew stammered, pale as death. He called once after the fire, said the boys were his legacy. "But I swear he's gone." Caleb's eyes narrowed, lies stinking the air. "Legacy my ass. Those kids fought back, and if Victor's out there, we'll bury him for real." The case teetered on the edge, officially closing as abduction homicide. Victor presumed dead, but Elena clung to the note, whispering, "My boy lives under some alias waiting." Shadows lengthened, doubts, festering, the hunt, far from over. The doubts festered like open wounds as the case, ground to a halt, ruled an abduction homicide with Victor Hale, presumed dead in that sketchy Alaska blaze. No arrests, no courtroom fireworks, just a sealed file stamped closed by the Virginia Attorney General. Caleb read the report alone in his dim office, the words blurring under the red ink: presumed deceased, unrecoverable remains, perpetrator believed gone in unrelated incident, 2002. "Closure my ass," he muttered, tossing it aside. 2 boys, still ghosts, no justice, just echoes in the wind. He drove to Elena's that evening, sun dipping low, casting long shadows across Louisa County. She opened the door thinner, now steel in her eyes, unchanged. "It's done?" she asked, voice flat. Caleb nodded. "They closed it today." She led him in the house, frozen in time, Alex's photo on the mantel, candle flickering beside it. He slid the original notebook across the table, worn pages whispering survival. "Wanted you to have this," he said. "The second's still evidence, but your boy wrote this while the world thought him dead." Elena took it, fingers tracing the ink. "He kept fighting," she whispered. Weeks later, a candlelight vigil packed the renovated Jefferson High gym, polished hardwood, gleaming under new lights. Kids too young to remember stood with parents, teachers, old teammates, the air thick with quiet respect. Harlan's daughter spoke first, voice cracking. "Lydia, no." Sophia flew in from North Carolina, adding her piece. "I didn't ask for this, but those woods, they whisper truths. We gotta listen." Caleb lurked in the back as Elena took the stage. Last, her words, simple, fierce. "My boy ain't a ghost," she said, gripping the mic. "He was taken, but he never quit fighting. Left proof behind. Not a victim, a fighter, a son, with a jersey, and a mom who believes he's out there waiting to be heard." The room fell silent. Then applause swelled, slow at first, then thunderous. Acknowledgement, not celebration. But as the crowd thinned, Sophia slipped back to the ridge, compelled by that tug in her gut. Milo at her side, she veered off trail to a forgotten spot, pine needles crunching. The dog froze, barking once at a rusted lunchbox half buried. She pried it open. Inside, another cassette. Faint, but clear. Alex's voice cracked through static. "Escaped the camp, but he's out there, watching. Don't forget." The tape reignited Whisper's case, closed but not buried. Elena lit her candle every night, notebook by her side. Caleb shifted to a special unit, chasing historical horrors. The gym hung, Alex's jersey in the rafters, a bronze plaque below. They never gave up. Neither did we. A scholarship bloomed in their name, the knights remembered not as lost, but as legends who clawed against the dark. Experts weighed in, a psychologist on predators noting, "These creeps lurk in plain sight, exploiting trust in small towns. Stats show 80% of abductions involve known faces, lurking at games, camps, edges of life. Lessen vigilance in youth." Sports report, "The weirdos early before they strike." Warning Stark. In America's backwoods, silence kills. Speak up, where the next kid vanishes like smoke into the hollows. Hope flickered amid the ruckus. A legacy of fight, not fade, whispering from the pines, gone, but not forgotten, fighting still in the shadows.